Yo guys, it's your boys Hunty again with another build video. Okay, this time we're going through the Magicka Templar, okay? This took a little bit of work, okay? Very simple build, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Okay, but I've tested a lot with the Magic Templar, okay? And this seems to work the best for open world, okay? I'm not saying this is best in slot for dueling and all that sort of good stuff. It is good for dueling. But it's an open world build, and yeah, it works really well. I find it hard on MagPlar to actually get survivability and damage at the same time, but I found it with this build and it works really well, I think it's good fun with it as well. Very good for solo, very good for group. Okay, don't get me wrong, MagPlar is still hard solo because it's really hard to get off the back bar if you've got people doing enough damage. Okay, but I find this one gives you enough resistances to get on the front foot long enough to get the burst on an opponent. Okay, let's go straight into it then. Straight into the gear. Okay, started wrong end. Okay, we are 5 fortified brass. Okay, we have got a 45 brass Nirnhold Destro with the weapon and spell damage enchantment there. And if you don't know what fortified brass does, it gives you maximum health, physical resistance, spell resistance, and then the last one gives you a big chunk, based nearly 5k of physical and spell resistance, okay? So this is going to cover all our tankiness. And we are in light armor, okay? But we're going to have the resistances of heavy armor. And because we're in light armor, we're going to keep good damage and penetration. Okay, so we've got a Destro, fortified brass. We've got sword and board of fortified brass. Now, you can use an eye staff of fortified brass. You can use an eye staff. There is not much difference other than, I think it's the 14% reduced damage from projectiles. Okay, that is the only difference in passive. Now, using in a duel, I would 100% say use a eye staff. 100% over sword and board. For open world, I recommend using sword and board because it gives you that a little bit more max stats because you get an extra glyph on the shield. Okay, so you get to use a glyph. So I use a triglyph, so it gives me more all-round stats on the back bar, which improves my healing and all that sort of good stuff and sustain. So yeah, that's why I recommend sword and board open world. But in dueling, 100% use a ice Destro staff. Okay. You can use a poison or use whatever. Okay, that's what I had in my inventory, and that's what I'm using. The monster set, we are using Shadowrend. Okay, this is going to give us 1 piece max magicka. And also, when you take damage, you have 15% chance of summon a shadowy Clanfear for 15 seconds. The Clanfear basic attack hits for 3,784 magic damage and applies, this is the big part, this is why we're using it, the minor maim to the enemy hit for 10 seconds, okay? Reducing their damage done by 15%. This is a biggie, okay? 15% reduced damage is massive. You will notice the difference when your target gets hit by this. Okay, this is going to be another survivability tool. Also, gives us sustain because it gives us 1 piece max magicka. Okay, and our second 5th piece set is Bright Throat. Now, you can use Necropotence if you want. You can use Seducer. You can use Shackle Breaker. You can use Amber Plasm. Okay, but I just find Bright Throat is the best all-rounded Magicka set at the moment. It gives me everything I need. It gives me the max magicka, the magic recovery, and when you have a drink buff active, you have your max magicka is increased by nearly 2k, and we get some magic recovery there. So it gives us all-round sustain and max stat. Okay, so I just find this really good, which also gives us extra damage. Okay, so I find this a best in slot for Magicka at the moment as a sustain set. If you don't want to run 2-piece Shadowrend, because obviously the Shadow normally only focuses one guy, so it'll only apply the minor maim to the one person. You can swap this out and you can go 1 Keener and increase your damage significantly. You can also run, you know, Scoria. You can pretty much swap it up, but I do recommend using 1 piece recovery because your recovery will be too low if you don't use 1 piece recovery. You could swap that out and go Dome House, and then you would have even more max magicka and stamina. It's all personal preference. It's all down to the individual and what you prefer. So we got all triglyphs here. This is going to improve our max stats, max stamina, max health. As you'll see in a second, we have very good maximum health considering we're in light armor. Okay, we're on bright throat jewelry. Got 1 piece recovery with 1 arcane. And then we have 2 spell damage infused. Okay, this is what is going to give us damage. Because as you can see, we have 2 sets here that don't give us damage other than the maximum magic, which gives us damage naturally. But we have nothing here that gives us our spell damage, okay? So what we're doing, we're making up for that. And we're going, we got good max magicka anyway. Because we got a set that gives us max magicka. So we're going to use infused jewelry spell damage. And this is where we're going to get his damage from. So that's it for the gear. Let's go through the skills. Okay, we're going to go with Honor the Dead. The reason we go over Honor the Dead, instead of Breath of Life, is, as you can see there, it restores 60% of the abilities cost over 60 seconds. So it gives us more sustain. Okay. Elusive Mist. Okay. This is going to be our sort of getaway tool or line of sight tool. This is going to be our mobility and movement, okay? If we don't have this on us bar, we will be stuck sat on us back bar, perma-blocking, spamming Breath of Life until you will die because you'll run out of resources. Okay, so Elusive Mist in open world for me is a must, okay? Unless you want to just keep getting stuck in open combat, Breath of Life and until you die, basically. Degeneration, this is going to be our spell power buff. Okay, you can go Structure Entropy for more health if you want. Okay, but I find Degeneration a little bit more effective because I'm weaving light attacks between each attack. Okay, and that gives me a little bit of a heal. 15% of a heal, the damage caused. Okay, we've got Extended Ritual. Okay, this is going to be our Cleanse. Probably the most overpowered ability on the game, to be honest, Cleanse. On Magicka and Stamina. Yeah, it's definitely key to have this Cleanse on there. We've got Channel Focus, which is going to be another resistance buff, so this is going to buff our resistances even more. Also, standing within the ruin increases our physical and spell resistance granted by 50%, so it makes us even tankier. Also, gives us magic back every 1 second, 240 every 1 second. Again, giving us more sustain. So if we're line of sighting in a little channel area, or we're bringing him in a gateway, we whack his rune down, and we're there, we're sat there, we're tankier, and we're getting sustain while we're fighting. Awesome skill. Again, these skills, so your Honor Your Dead, your Cleanse, and your Rune in your Focus, these are must-have skills on a Magic Templar. Okay? The other 2 you can play about with. Okay, the back bar then, if you're playing a lot of small scale like I do, Devouring Swarm is the best, because when you're pushing with a group that have got like permafrosts and stuff like that, you pop a Bat Swarm and it's healing you as you're pushing with your biting jab spam. Okay, it just seems to be a little bit more effective. It just gives you that AoE damage as everyone's pushing forward, permafrost, Stormbreakers and all that sort of good stuff. It gives you a little bit of survivability, because a Templar doesn't really have a heal over time. Okay, it relies on its burst heal from Honor the Dead. So okay, the Devouring Swarm allows us to stay on the front bar a little bit longer because it heals us as well as damage the enemies. Front bar then, Punching Sweeps. Okay, this is going to be our spammable on the front bar. Okay, weaving in light attacks as we refresh the spam. Purifying Light. Okay, this is where our burst is going to come from. What we do is we apply this on the enemy straight away, immediately in combat. Okay, we light attack, toppling charge, light attack, do a couple of jabs. And what we're trying to do here, we're trying to achieve as much damage as possible within the 6 seconds this ability is up. And the reason that is it copies the damage done within them 6 seconds. Okay, as you can see there, the maximum copied damage is 22,713. Okay, this ability, if you manage to get enough damage off within them 6 seconds, can hit like a truck. Like I've seen this ability drop people from half health to insta dead because you manage to get enough damage off. Okay, but it's all about timing and getting used to it. And always make sure you've got this on an uptime. Okay, always got this on the opponent. Inner Light, okay, this is going to give us our crit, an extra crit, extra max magic, overall gives us more damage. Toppling Charge, this is going to be a gap closer. Now this Toppling Charge can be buggy, okay, and also not reliable if the target is in your face a lot. Okay, so if the target is like such as a Nightblade, who's, you know, they pivot around you and they normally stay really close to you, or like, you know, a Stamina DK who has no requirement to break the gap between you and him, okay, this toppling charge will be nowhere use to you. So I do recommend using a different ability. So you can use Total Dark, okay, but it doesn't CC, it makes them CC break, makes them use stamina, but it doesn't physically knock them back or knock them over. So it doesn't really give you a break as such, okay? It doesn't get them off you. You can use Destructive Reach. That's another CC, okay? You can throw that at him. Expensive ability, but very effective. But it's dodgeable. But when it hits, you know, it is a very effective ability. And there's also one more I would use, which is Invigorating Drain. Okay, this gives you a heal. I don't recommend using the full channel of this ability. I recommend just animation cancelling it. So press it and then block. So press block and that will animation cancel it, but it will still CC the enemy or the opponent that you are fighting. Okay, so you're only using this as a CC. You're not using it for the heal or the channel. Okay. So moving on. We got Elemental Drain, again, another resource management tool. Also reduces the enemy's spell resistance by 5.28%. Okay, so that's reducing their spell resistance, allowing us to do more damage and be more effective towards the opponent. Okay, and as ultimate on the front bar, okay, we are going with Caressing Sweep. I'm finding this ability really effective. Okay, still getting used to it, but yeah. I find it really effective, does really good little bit of burst damage, and also adds a pretty evil damage over time to the enemy as well. As you can see there, an additional 3,750 magic damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Okay, so it's good. It's a good little burst damage, and also adds a little bit of dot pressure onto the enemies. As you can see there, the enemy in your path will be hit for 60% more damage, okay? So if the enemy is directly in front of you, it will hit even harder, okay? And it's, trust me, it can hit like a truck, okay? Now you can swap this out and use Dawnbreaker of Smiting, okay? Also, another good ability, it CCs the enemy, it does good damage, has a good dot. But as you can see there, it's physical damage, it's not magical damage. Okay, so you would have to use your CP tree, put some into Mighty, okay, and sort of like try and buff the Dawnbreaker a little bit to be as effective. Okay, but the Dawnbreaker is still really effective and is definitely 100% usable. Okay, but I'm just finding the Caressing Sweep more effective. And also look at the cost. The cost of the Crescent Sweep is 72 ultimate. Okay, and the Dawnbreaker is 120. I get these Crescent Sweeps up really, really fast. Honestly, these Crescent Sweeps come round really quick. And the thing MagPlar really struggles with is burst, okay? And with this Crescent Sweep always coming round, we have the burst more often and more frequently, okay? So it allows us to be more effective and grind down the opponent a lot quicker. Okay, let's go into the champion points. Champion points, again, personal preference. Don't claim my champion points are best in slot. Use mine as a guide and then, you know, change them as and when. What you'll see, what you'll find, champion points are key to any build, okay? To players' styles, all sorts. Make your own CP, guys. Don't copy someone else's CP. You might think, oh, he's awesome, I'm going to use his CP. His CP isn't the reason he's awesome, okay? He's either played the class a long time and he knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. His CP is just, you know, it's manipulated and personalized to his game style. Now, you might not play the same as him, so his CP might not work for you, okay? So, yeah, just try and use it as a guide, but then change it in your own little quirky ways, okay, guys? So, let's go for the consumables. Okay, so we are using the spring-loaded fusion, okay? So this is going to proc our Bright Throat monster set, Bright Throat 5-piece set. Okay, this is going to increase our health, magic kit, and stamina pool. Okay, this is going to give us all-round max stats. Absolutely awesome. Must use. Now, if you're finding your sustain lacking, which you shouldn't do, as I am a Breton also, you can use Witch Mothers. The only reason I wouldn't use Witch Mothers is because you would have a very low stamina pool. Now, you need a stamina pool on a Magic Templar because as you're block casting, on your back bar, you need the stamina pool. Okay, because if you block cast 2 Breath of Lives, okay, you're going to use your stamina pool. Someone's going to fear you. You're dead. Simple. That's you done. Excuse me. So yeah, I definitely 100% recommend using the spring-loaded fusion. Okay, and as for pots, try pots all the way on MagPlar. 100% try pots. It gives us the health, gives us the health recovery. It gives us a chunk of magic here, gives us magic recovery, and also gives us stam and stamina recovery. It just gives us all-round stats back. And as I've just said, the stamina is equally as important as magicka on a Magic Templar. You run out of stamina on a Magic Templar, you will die. Simple. You don't have a heal over time. You only have a burst heal. If you run out of stamina on a Templar, you're dead. It's game over. Done. Okay? So this is the reason. Now you can use immovable pots, but they're just not up for long enough. You don't get CC immune for long enough. I don't find them as reliable as having a full bar of stamina once I pop this pot. Okay? So let's go through the back bar stats then. So let's have a look here. So as you can see there, we have 35, practically 36k spell resistance, and we have 33, practically 34k physical resistance with basically 3.3 crit resist. As you can see there, we are really tanky, as if we are in heavy armor, but we're in light armor, guys. Okay, we're in light armor. We got nearly 37k max magicka. We got 1.7 recovery, which is awesome. And yeah, look at that, 27.7k health in light armor. Okay, that's mega. That is mega, guys. So we got all those points into magicka. We are a vampire, obviously, because we need mist, so that gives us more recovery. We are using the mage for max magicka. Now you can use the apprentice for more spell damage if you don't want as much max magicka. You can use what's it called, the Atro. Okay, is it the Atro? Yeah, the Atro, and give you more magic recovery. Okay, but to be honest, we've got to find this build and the max magicka a lot more efficient, adds to the damage and the healing and all that sort of good stuff. As you can see here, I am a Breton. I find Breton best in slot, okay, because of the reduced cost. It allows me to pump a little bit more into damage instead of sustain, because normally I would have to use 2 recovery glyphs, where now I don't. Okay, I can use 2 infused spell damage, so it allows me to run more damage. And I think that's the back bar stats, okay? Front bar stats, okay, this is completely unbuffed, so no spell power buff, no light attack, no nothing. Okay, as you can see, we've got nearly 38k max magicka, but still 1.7 recovery consistent, 27 health still on the front bar, and look at them resistances on the front bar. The front bar resistances are still 33k spell resistance and 30k physical resistance, okay? Now, normally MagPlars are quite tanky on the back bar. As soon as they get on the front bar, they squish, okay? With this build, you're not so squishy on the front bar. Yes, you're in light armor, so you can still be burst, okay? But these resistances allow it to be a little bit more forgiving, okay? And yeah, just really good. Still got 3k crit resist. We have 44.9% spell critical, okay, which is really good critical. And fully buff spell damage once we've got our spell power buff and we've got a light attack. We've got nearly 3k spell damage. I think it's something like 2.9.5 spell damage. Okay, once you've got continuous, okay, you are looking at like 3.2 spell damage, which is mega. Okay, with that max magic and 3.2 spell damage, with that critical, you're going to be doing really, really good damage. Okay, and then as you can see there, when we pop a pot, we've got 1.9 recovery. If we get a continuous, we get another 200. Okay, so we got 2.1 magic recovery when we got a continuous. So as you can see, when you're in Cyrodiil, catch a resource, and you've got pretty much unstoppable stats. 2.2 recovery with 38k max magicka, 3.1 spell damage, okay, and you've got 30 plus k resistances in light armor. And because we're in light armor, guys, we're getting the light armor passives, which are naturally awesome. We're getting the reduced costs. We're getting the magic. We're getting the magic recoveries. Okay, we're getting, as you can see there, the reduced cost of magic abilities for 2% for each piece. We got a 10% reduced cost. We got spell resistance. We're getting spell critical. And we're also getting a whopping 4,884 spell penetration for being in light. That's why a Magic Templar has to be in light armor. If you go heavy armor MagPlar, you will do no damage. People's Vigor will outdo your jab's damage, okay? So you have to go light armor. And this is the best build and the best way to do it, guys. 100%. And now, I think I've covered everything. Thanks for watching. If you liked, please leave me feedback below. If I've missed something, which I always do because I don't write anything down, I just spiel it off. Okay? Just let me know in the comments. You know, if you're going to criticize anything, please just give me some constructive criticism and just say maybe you should try this way. I'm happy. You know, it's all a learning curve for me. Yeah, and also, if you want to see another class, another build, okay, please whack it down in the comments below. Let me know. If I get enough people to say that, you know, they want to see a different class, such as, you know, Warden or something like that, you know, whack it in the comments below, and I'll get working. I'll get working on it. Right, cheers. Please like and subscribe. Absolute legends. Peace out.